Geico asks, how would you love a chance to save some money on insurance? Of course you would. And when it comes to great rates on insurance, Geico can help. Like with insurance for your car, truck, motorcycle, boat, and RV. Even help with homeowners or renters coverage. Plus, add an easy-to-use mobile app, available 24-hour roadside assistance, and more, and Geico is an easy choice. Switch today and see all the ways you could save. It's easy. Simply go to geico.com or contact your local agent today.
Start summer up by mixing things up with top paint and stain brands at Lowe's. Shop HGTV Home by Sherwin-Williams, Valspar, Cabot to find the perfect pop of color or classic shade you've been looking for. And don't forget to prep your deck for the season with reliable wood stain and sealer. Now's the perfect time to complete your paint or stain project. Lowe's. All things summer, all at the right price.
Hey, Ola, it's Miles. Thank you guys for listening to the Men's Room Daily Podcast.
Have you heard our newest podcast? It's called The Greatest Story Never Told.
Download it today on radio.com. Be sure to subscribe. New episodes are uploaded every Tuesday at noon.
Unfortunately, what you're about to hear is real. The members of this radio program are simply not that bright, or what some people would call educated. They are merely stupid. They're not trying to offend anyone on purpose. And all have played doctors on TV. You have been warned and are cordially invited to join the party. This is the Men's Room.
Forget it, man, and get with the countdown. Get with the countdown. Shake this square world and blast off for Kicksville. The trippers, the grasshoppers, the hip ones, all gathered in secrecy and flying high as a kite.
This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. You know what they say, shake your radio more than 3 times, and you're playing with it. You're listening to the Men's Room.
And away we go. Welcome to Season 16, Episode number 3514. Along with Steve the Thrill Hill, the Ted Smith, and Mike Hawk. And you are in the Men's Room. On tap today, the return of Who Sucks Less. We will play Profile This. Plus headlines, the Men's Room Shout of the Day, fun with listener emails, and everyone's favorite, TV Time with Ted. Clack, clack. Drinking a dog. All right, here we go. A man asked his girlfriend to marry him at a baseball game, so you already know the rest. Meanwhile, a sperm bank in China holds a contest to find out whose population paste is the best. Missouri man cutting his grass finds an alligator in his yard. Paris playground has to close after vandal wanted someone to land hard. And in Hawaii, someone steals a fire truck, then drives to 7-Eleven for flaming hot Cheetos. That is all coming on today's very special episode of The Men's Room.
And now, here's the question.
Population pace. All the bitches, good day to you and yours. All right, good news. A rock-throwing suspect has been arrested after being chased down by a motorist here in the Seattle area. Now, in case you did not know, multiple vehicles have been hit with rocks on I-5 near I-90. It's been going on for months. One car was hit on Monday, 4 on Sunday, 3 more over the weekend. So far this year, 186 total. It's ridiculous. It's dangerous. And the work of more than one person, but someone has been arrested. I want to say it's the second or third in a string of people that have been arrested for throwing rocks at cars because, frankly, when you're driving your car, the last thing you expect is a rock to smash into your windshield. In Boston, a woman was driving to work when a metal spike pierced her windshield, and they're not sure where it came from. They don't know if someone did it on purpose, if it fell off of a truck, but the spike went through her windshield and almost killed her dog that was sitting in the passenger seat. And in Florida, a 71-year-old woman, she was injured when a turtle busted the windshield. Yes, a turtle. But look, for better or worse, driving always seems to be an adventure, whether it's the car in Colorado that crashed into a pool, or the car in San Jose that also crashed into a pool, or the man in Missouri who was hit by a car. And look, people get hit by cars every day, but what makes his story interesting is he was sitting in the dining room of his home at the time. Today, in case you haven't pieced it together, it's all about you and your vehicle and the madness that seems to ensue. So today's question is simply this. What's the craziest thing that happened involving your vehicle?
Be part of the big show. Call 206-421-ROCK. Like the Men's Room on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Men's Room Live. And send those emails to the Men's Room at KISW.com.
Geico asks, how would you love a chance to save some money on insurance? Of course you would. And when it comes to great rates on insurance, Geico can help. Like with insurance for your car, truck, motorcycle, boat, and RV. Even help with homeowners or renters coverage. Plus, add an easy-to-use mobile app, available 24-hour roadside assistance, and more, and Geico is an easy choice. Switch today and see all the ways you could save. It's easy. Simply go to geico.com or contact your local agent today.
Start summer up by mixing things up with top paint and stain brands at Lowe's. Shop HGTV Home by Sherwin-Williams, Valspar, Cabot to find the perfect pop of color or classic shade you've been looking for. And don't forget to prep your deck for the season with reliable wood stain and sealer. Now's the perfect time to complete your paint or stain project. Lowe's, all things summer, all at the right price.
I'm Glennon Doyle, author of Untamed and host of the podcast We Can Do Hard Things. Each week, we talk openly and honestly about the hard things in life together with you. So join us and some of our dearest friends and greatest heroes to talk about anxiety, boundaries, parenting, infidelity, our bodies, loving and losing, all of the things that make us human. Listen to and follow We Can Do Hard Things on Odyssey and everywhere you get your podcasts.
The debauchery rolls on. You're listening to The Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. 99.9 KISW.
Oh, Pacholas, and away we go. Welcome to Season 16, episode number 3,514. What a large and in charge program we have for you today. Who Sucks Less is coming up every week. Stephen Thrill Hill brings us 3 stories from the news. They all suck, but it's up to us to determine, of the 3, which story sucks the least. How brutal are we looking at today?
Not brutal, just disgusting.
Okay.
You know, one of them's kind of creepy, disgusting. I guess 2 of them are kind of creepy, disgusting. One of them is just, why'd you do that?
People do some strange things.
Yes, they do.
Who Sucks Less coming up? Of course, our Men's Room Happy Hour at 6 o'clock tonight, exclusively on Odyssey. Search for the Men's Room on the Odyssey app. You can also find it on KISW.com. If you do not have the app, here's what you do. You can download it for free in the App Store and Google Play. Favorite the Happy Hour in the app, and away you go. We'll go live at 6 o'clock today. We bring back the return of the word and some of the worst names in history. Unfortunately, some of the worst names that people have ever had.
Yeah. You know, there's no way to sugarcoat it. But it's historical stuff.
Most of these we can't say on the air right now.
No, we absolutely cannot. But, not properly.
We can when we do our little Men's Room Happy Hour.
And that's what's messed up. These are these people's names, but we still cannot say them on the air.
Exactly. Again, that's the Men's Room Happy Hour exclusively on the Odyssey app. Just search for the Men's Room.
Luscious is there.
He is on there.
Nice. He was my inspiration.
That was my first question.
By the way, he has since changed his last name to Seymour.
Oh, no kidding.
He did, yes.
Seymour. Luscious Seymour.
Seymour Butts.
Okay. All right, our question today, what's the craziest thing that happened involving your vehicle? We have good news, we hope. Maybe this has come to an end, maybe it hasn't. It depends on how many people were involved. But a 41-year-old man is in custody after he was chased down by motorists yesterday, whose vehicle was apparently targeted with rocks and debris thrown from the side of I-90. Investigators did not immediately identify the suspect. Why do you think they don't do that? Do we have any idea? I mean, from a legal standpoint?
I don't know.
Why don't they say, like, if they arrest my ass, it's like...
Miles Montgomery is found masturbating.
Could you do me a favor? Could you not say my name? They're like, hell with you. You know what I mean? You can't... You broke the law. You know, like, what? Anyway. They didn't identify the guy. He's a 41-year-old man. He's been booked into King County Jail and charged with malicious mischief. Bail has been denied.
I don't know that they always do. Like, unfortunately for Richard Sherman, everybody knew his name.
Sure.
So when he shows up that he got booked into jail, you know it. So if you knew that guy's name, you could find that it's him. But I don't know that they always release the name of suspect.
They don't always, but based on what's been going on around here in I-5, I would definitely release their name.
So it was yesterday about 4 o'clock. The suspect hurled items from the side of westbound lanes on I-90. At least 7 vehicles were targeted. Obviously, it's dangerous. According to Trooper Van Cleve, reckless, it's scary, can really hurt people. The suspect was actually chased down by a motorist whose car was hit.
Mm-hmm.
He helped identify the guy to law enforcement authorities. A trooper was in the area, and they were able to make it to the scene quickly enough to apprehend the guy.
Okay, good.
So the trooper examined several items on the hood of his cruiser that appeared to be rocks and other large items that the subject had. At least one vehicle at the scene had a shattered windshield. It was believed to have been struck by the suspect. Several drivers have reported minor injuries from the attacks that have left vehicles with shattered windshields and damaged front ends. So far, 5 suspects have been arrested in connection with the attacks that have been occurring on I-90 and I-5. He said, including yesterday's attack, there have been 209 reported incidents of motorists being targeted from the roadside with debris and rocks, which is insane. One of the guys whose car got hit, a guy named Dan, said it was crazy. It was probably one of the craziest events I've ever been in. Cameras operated by the State Department said they appeared to capture the man throwing the rocks at passing motorists, but either way, that guy has finally been captured. Thank God.
One of the guys.
One of the guys.
Right, I think that's the other worry, too.
Right, because, I mean, either all of these guys are in some weird-ass gang and that's what they do, or it's just the copycat thing, which is what I think it is anyway.
Right. Now let's go to Colorado. Here you go. Fun with being a teenager and driving. You know for a fact if you're a teenager, more than likely you will do something horrible to a vehicle. A Colorado teenager who hit the gas instead of the brake did not have a good day, but he provided plenty of laughs to the local police department, you see. The teen was cited for careless driving after accidentally flattening a fence and driving through the yard into a backyard pool on Friday. The teen and his adult passenger were not injured. Police department shared the video of the fire department dive team trying to recover the vehicle and tweeted, "The best line for this is, check out our new Infinity pool." Because, yes, the kid was driving an Infinity.
I thought they were going to make a carpool joke.
Police department thanked the fire department and a towing service for their help. They also thanked all that is good in the world for there being no injuries to anyone. I'm not sure. Okay, let's just say that I'm sitting in a chair, right? And that car comes flying through the fence. All right? I don't get hit by the fence, thank God. Car hits me, though, throws me into the pool.
Yeah.
Now, let's just say the car goes all the way to the end of the pool. I'm pinned up against the wall, right? There's no way in hell that I can't push that car off in a pool. I'm saying that's easy. In other words, in water. The car's in water,
but have
push
the
that
wheels,
thing back. You know
the wheels settled on the bottom of the pool?
Wouldn't matter, would it?
Yeah. I think as it's still floating down, you have a chance to move it. Once that thing is settled, it still weighs.
As long as it's
not
the hell it still
weighs.
In drive, maybe. I don't know. You know what I mean? That would.
It'll still be in drive.
I mean, you'd think you'd be able to push it up in water, right?
No.
Didn't you ever use a dive brick, Miles?
Yeah.
Yeah, those things are still just as heavy as they are in the water as they are out of the water.
Right, it's still a car.
But I still have I'm still braced up against the wall. I still have some leverage to push the thing off, don't I?
First of all, if the car has you pinned against the wall, you're already dead.
You're screwed. Yeah.
I mean, this thing, it took you all the way to the wall and then stopped just short enough to pin you?
Yeah. I'm saying I can make it out.
There's no chance.
I think I could.
I think they'd recover your body, yeah. I mean, you will eventually be removed from the pool. I just don't believe it'll be under your own power.
Things are much lighter in water, but you're still talking about 2 tons, right? Isn't that what a car weighs?
About a ton.
1 ton? Well, it's 2,000 pounds.
Either way, it's heavy.
All right.
Yeah.
Been working on my presses. I don't know.
Well, I mean, you look at crab fishermen, that's why it's dangerous when a pot goes over and gets your leg. You can't just get in the water and be like, oh, just pull it back up.
Right. No, you can't. No, you're going down. You got to get your foot out of there. That's a fact. You're going to die. So our question today, what is the craziest thing that happened involving your vehicle? 206-421-ROCK.
Dude, what are you, Mega Man?
Yes. I'm getting out of there, man. No guy in no car is going to kill me.
Thank God it was in a pool. I just pushed it off. Here's a comment. It says, the craziest thing that happened to my vehicle is that I was parked in Seattle in a parking garage. And as I was walking back to my car, I noticed a homeless man masturbating in front of my car. I walked up just as he was finishing. Man, did I kick his ass. But I was still left with his population paste on my hood.
You didn't beat up a guy who was masturbating in the act, did you? Isn't that a rule?
No, the guy finished.
Oh, okay.
On his hood.
Oh, no.
So his point is I beat his ass, but he still had to drive home with ejaculates on the front of his car.
That can't be a rule. If you're masturbating somewhere you shouldn't, you should expect violence.
It depends.
I didn't know that was the end result there. I hope he went to the brown bear. You know what I mean?
Even brown bear be like, we don't wash that, man.
Look, I've seen people in my neighborhood poop in the street, pee in the street.
Sure.
If I come out and there's a guy doing that in the alley, I'm screaming at him and be like, move. That's a different level.
I think pooping's worse than masturbating.
Oh, I don't.
Because, look, man, I understand you're handling your business. I'd prefer you do none of this, but when you poop, there is evidence that you've pooped. If you masturbate, I don't know where the evidence went, but chances are it's out of my view, man. You know what I mean? Once you're done, I won't know about it. So, if someone stood outside of your apartment and masturbated while you're asleep, when you get up the next morning, you're not going to know.
Correct.
If someone poops directly outside of your apartment, you get up, you go Somebody just pooped outside of my park.
And look, if somebody's pooping outside, I'm still going to be pissed. I'm just saying the person who's standing there, like, looking in my place, like, the bat's coming out.
Well, wait, all right, look. If they're looking in my place...
Even if they're not looking, I'm just saying, if you're standing out front, like, to me, that's...
I can't masturbate next to your apartment.
But okay.
Well, we do it with dogs.
Well, wait a minute.
Dogs,
do what with dogs?
Dogs go to the bathroom all the time, right?
Yes.
But how many times back in the day, they'd be like, honey, stop it.
Right. Well, okay, let me ask you this.
They're going to town on themselves.
But it's the sound.
Now,
I did not care that she's going to town. It's just that noise of tongue on dog anus that absolutely drives me crazy.
Isn't there an unwritten rule someplace where you should not defecate on asphalt or concrete, any type of pavement? You know, like when your dog takes a squat in the road or on the sidewalk.
It's annoying.
Like, dude, what are you doing?
You know,
what are you
grass.
doing? Right? Same with humans. You know what I mean? Like,
Sure.
if
look,
you could please just avoid that. I mean, that's the last thing you want to see when you're walking on the sidewalk or down the street or anywhere else. And that's when it's the most shocking. If it was in the grass to the side, you'd be like, oh, that's disgusting. But when it's like on concrete for some reason, it elevates
way worse.
the nasty game, right?
Unless you do it in an alley. Like we had the big turd down the street, a month ago or whatever it was. And it bugged me because if you took 5 more steps, you go into the alley. And look, there's not a lot of green space, but it's understood if you're going to do anything questionable.
That's what I'm saying. It's like
you
an unwritten
go
rule.
into the alley. If you're going to masturbate, defecate, urinate, have sex, whatever it is, do drugs, let's go into the alley. Alleys are designed for that. That's where people do weird things in cities.
That's why they put dumpsters down there, so you have a barrier so someone can see you right away.
I pee between so many dumpsters, it's unbelievable.
Yeah. I mean, it smells like hell, but whatever.
It does.
What is the craziest thing that happened involving your vehicle? 206-421-ROCK.
Hello, Chris. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, bitches.
Hola.
All right, so a few years ago, I was working as a medical courier, which meant that I went to pick up different specimens for the doctors.
Like what kind of specimens are we talking about?
I think for the most part, they were usually looking out for like breast cancer, stuff like that.
Okay.
Anyway, so 2 of my stops was one in Monroe and the other was in Sultan. And I don't know how familiar you are with that area.
Not super.
That's like the farmland where they filmed the movie The Ring.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Did you say Sultan?
Yeah.
Yeah, Sultan.
All right, of course, I know it.
Naturally. What bar do you go to in Sultan, Ted?
I go to the bakery.
Jesus
kind of
Christ.
famous.
All right.
The bakery's a bar or a bakery?
No, the Sultan Bakery is kind of famous.
Oh.
All right. Please continue, Chris.
All right, so since, Ted, you're familiar with Sultan, you know there's only like one stoplight in the whole town. and there's only one way to go on the road. Well, there's a 2-lane road. You go one way, the other cars go the other way. But if you can go around other drivers. And guy was going, I think he was going the speed limit, but I was like kind of tailgating him because I wanted to get around him. It was the end of my night, and I wanted to be done, but it was pissing him off. So when I finally got around him, he just looked at me, gave me the finger, and then I got hit at the last stoplight, which was unfortunately right to my last stop. So I see him in my mirror, and he's yelling at me to pull over, but I had to because that was the last stop for my job. So he comes out of the car, and I come out holding a bat because this dude's yelling at me and screaming at me, and I wanted to protect myself. And he says he owns a laundromat that's right next to my stop and threatens to grab a gun, shoot me, and kill me.
So what do you do? I think I'd have hit him with the bat at that point. I mean, if you're going to threaten me, then I got to handle this. You know what I mean? That doesn't make sense to me to tell people what you're going to do. Hang on there. I'm going to go get my gun. Like, no, you're not. I'm going to bang you in the knee with the bat because you just said you're going to come out here and shoot me.
Yeah, I mean, he just argued with me. Who's your boss? Who do you work for? I was like, you want to talk to him, you can talk to him, but I don't really care because I don't believe that you're going to actually do anything to me.
So what happened? You just broke it up and walked away?
Yeah, he was just like, oh, well, thanks for actually stopping and talking to me. I was like, dude, whatever, go away.
That's how it ended?
Okay, right.
Well, thanks for
that's how it
over.
ended.
Jesus. Yeah.
Yeah, I've never understood that. When growing up, when I was in high school, there was a kid, and plenty of people there carried their guns, had them in a locker or whatever, but these dudes, they're kind of arguing with each other in the hallway, and the one guy, and this is, you heard this thread all the time, when he comes to school tomorrow, he's going to shoot this guy. This guy beat his ass. And he's like, why would you tell me that? And I mean, just worked him over in the hallway, and I'm like, That's pretty solid, man. It makes a lot of sense because he's like, you just told me you're going to come here and kill me tomorrow. It's like, you ain't making it out of here then. I was like, that's a really solid point.
Yeah.
Don't
then
tell
then you can't do that.
Yeah, now you can't do that. Oh, he beat the living, I was like, well, if you're going to threaten someone, it has to be a threat that you can carry out within like 5 seconds of making it. Yeah, I'm going to go home, dude. He's like, no, you're not. I was like, oh, God.
What's the craziest thing that happened involving your vehicle? 206-421-ROCK.
Hello, Willie. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola.
So, late teens, early 20s, out of Portland and out to the Columbia Gorge to see multi-day, festival concerts out in the gorge, and had a couple incidences that didn't make it home in the same condition as we left. First one, little pickup truck, always make it out to the concert, have a good time, and then on the return drive, it's 100 degrees in the desert along the gorge, trying to get back, and truck breaks down. I was still on my parents' AAA insurance at the time, and you get 4 service calls per year on that account with AAA. You can be towed 100 miles, and that's as far as it will go. So we were towed 100 miles, and then another truck comes along, picks us up, tows us another 100 miles, drops us off. Another truck comes along, tows us another 100 miles. 400 miles, 4 trips, all the way back.
And so does that count?
You used all of your AAA membership. That's actually good. Most people don't get a chance to do that, probably.
So did that count for all 4?
In one bad trip.
Damn, man.
Now, do you ride in the tow truck, or are you in the car in the back that they're towing?
Well, the first 2 trips, they would not let us ride in the back of they would not let us ride in the truck. But by the third one, we'd been through this a few times, and we kind of like, come on, man, can we just ride in back? And they let us.
So so the first 2 trips, are you trying to tell me that you were in the truck that was being towed?
No. The last 2 trips, we were in the truck that was being towed.
That has to be hysterical to see. I'm sorry, man. If I'm driving down the road, man, and there's a truck being towed, and I see 2 dudes, it's going to be like, what in the hell's going on, man? This is just...
So real quickly, one more short one. Same thing, returning from the Columbia Gorge, this time in a Volkswagen bus in the middle of summer. So you can already imagine. But on the way back, the motor goes. There's oil, like a sprinkler oil coming out of this motor. And we had no AAA at this point. There was nothing else to do. Me and some friends got creative. We bought a case of oil, maybe 2, and they sat in the back over the motor and poured oil into it while I drove, and we watched oil shoot out the back of the motor, one quart at a time, just to get somewhere and to get...
God.
Yeah.
That sounds like the era of the bus. That sounds like the 70s. Basically, every car that was a Volkswagen, you always had oil available in your car because no matter what, your engine burned oil. For whatever reason, whether it leaked it, whatever the deal was, I mean, you'd see empty oil cans in people's cars all the time.
And the buses were notorious for that. We had a Volkswagen bus, not quite that bad, but I mean, every time we did a trip in that thing, there was... something had to be jerry-rigged, created on the fly, or we had to find a mechanic.
And the engine was water-cooled. So at 110 degrees in the desert, the water's basically boiling inside the radiator. It's not doing anything. It's basically just, making a bomb with your engine. Question, now, what is the craziest thing that happened involving your vehicle? 206-421-ROCK.
Geico asks, how would you love a chance to save some money on insurance? Of course you would. And when it comes to great rates on insurance, Geico can help. Like with insurance for your car, truck, motorcycle, boat, and RV. Even help with homeowners or renters coverage. Plus, add an easy-to-use mobile app, available 24-hour roadside assistance, and more, and Geico is an easy choice. Switch today and see all the ways you could save. It's easy. Simply go to geico.com or contact your local agent today.
Start summer up by mixing things up with top paint and stain brands at Lowe's. Shop HGTV Home by Sherwin-Williams, Valspar, Cabot to find the perfect pop of color or classic shade you've been looking for. And don't forget to prep your deck for the season with reliable wood stain and sealer. Now's the perfect time to complete your paint or stain project. Lowe's, all things summer, all at the right price.
Take the next step toward the career you want, be it business, cybersecurity, healthcare, or more. UMGC can help you get there. No application fee when you apply by August 31st. Visit umgc.edu, certified to operate by Chev.
99.9 KISW.
The men's room is in progress.
We got a Missouri man was sitting in his dining room Tuesday morning. He was pushed into a table and across the room. When he turned around, he saw a surprise culprit. A car crashed through his wall in his home. John Bloom was sitting at the dining room table at 8:45 a.m. when the car crashed into his house, shoving his chair into the table. When he turned around, he saw the car partially in his home. Police said the crash was due to a medical emergency. They said the female driver was taken to the hospital for treatment. Bloom, he said the hell with it. He refused medical treatment when officers arrived. He started to clean things up and said, no, you guys can go. I got work to do.
Damn.
Yeah.
All right.
Our question, what's the craziest thing that happened involving your vehicle? 206-421-ROCK.
Hello, Brock. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, bitches.
Hola.
Hey, so I'm a truck driver up on San Juan Island, Missouri Harbor, and summertime gets pretty crazy with tourism. And we have little 2-lane roads, and there's oncoming traffic and cyclists on each side of the road. And I saw roadkill, a dead raccoon in front of me, and I didn't have enough room or any choice but to go right over it. And I shot blood and guts all over some bikers on the
Oh, man.
Did they think you did it on purpose?
I don't know. I looked in my mirrors, and I felt like they were off their bikes immediately with their hands in the air, kind of doing like a what the hell? And the cyclists on the other side of the road were stopped with just their hands on their heads and covered in their faces.
Oh, man.
How many
let's go to
cyclists?
San Juans. We'll bike. It'll be lovely.
How many cyclists do you think you sprayed?
2.
Two.
Okay. Yeah.
Damn.
Still, though, man.
I mean, I've been splashed
You
with
guys would
water.
be surprised. You think people come up here to cycle, that they're having fun. Every single one that I drive past, they don't look happy.
No.
What are you guys doing?
You ever see anybody who's running smiling? I mean,
No,
exercise. I mean, I never see anybody like happy at the gym. Like they all got a serious look on their face. No one's smiling. No one's happy. It's not that they're not happy.
You don't smile a bunch on a hike till you get to the top.
No.
Yeah, and again, because it's
exercise.
You're not amused. It's not fun. The only time I see people smiling when they work out is because it's a TV ad for Peloton. Right?
Well, that's not real.
I know it's not real because when I see anyone else on their exercise bike, they look absolutely freaking miserable.
I mean, do you really think that you'd have an empty penthouse with a floor-to-ceiling window and you could look over to the other apartment across the street and see the exact same room that you're living in, but there's a hot woman in there doing the exact same thing, also with no furniture?
Right. We don't have furniture. We just have a Peloton, each of us.
That's it.
I was going to say, organized sports are about the only time you see people smiling while exercising.
You know what? Because, right, again, if people don't mind exercising if you call it something else, right?
Yeah.
So like you said, you don't like to run, but you play pub league soccer. So all you do is run.
Right.
But since it's soccer, it's fun. But if I said, Ted, walk out to that field, just run back and forth on it for no reason. There's no ball, just run back and forth, right? Like, hell no.
That's why people take themselves out. They put up their hand. You know, they're running hoops, playing soccer, whatever. Like, I'm out. I'm tired.
Stop.
I need a break. Stop. What's the craziest thing that happened involving your vehicle? 206-421-ROCK.
Hello, Russell. Welcome to the men's room. Hello, Russell.
Hola.
Russell. Hola.
Yes.
All right, so first of all, I want to apologize to the grandma that I probably scared the crap out of. So I was working at the Alderwood Mall, and I lived out in Maltby, which is like kind of north of Woodinville.
All right.
So I get on 405, and I'm in a little Ford Ranger, 95 Ford Ranger, about 10 years ago, 95 Ford Ranger with nothing in the back, so it's pretty light. And there's a grandma in front of me in a Lexus SUV. She's going about 50, and I just got on, and I'm like, I got to go around this lady. So I speed around her, and then I merge right in front of her. Then all of a sudden, the lane ends on 405 in the right lane, like right after you get on, the far right lane ends, and a semi-truck cut me off. And he was probably only going about 50, but I was going, at that point, like 65. And I was like, so I slammed on my brakes. I was like, oh, shoot, I'm going to lose control. And then I was like, this is like 3, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I was like, oh, I lost control. And all of a sudden, like my back came off my truck, like the back tires lifted up, and I shot like across all lanes of 405 to the left. Ended up doing a full 360 going about 65 miles an hour and ended up in the carpool. And I looked behind me and 405 stopped. They're like 50 yards back. And I just start laughing. And I get off Fossil exit and I pull over and get out, like stuff in that PCC parking lot. And like look at my truck and I no pop tires or nothing, and I survived.
So no damage to your truck at all?
No. And I did a full 360 across all 405 going like 65 miles an hour.
Was there any damage to your underwear?
yeah. Damage probably to the poor grandma that I cut off. So.
Well, I was going to say, what did her car look like? Did you even know?
Oh no, I didn't hit it. I didn't hit anybody. She was fine, but she had this young guy cut her off and do a 360 across the lanes of traffic, and then I'm sure I probably gave her some dirty underwear. Yeah.
Well, like show off.
Yeah. That's probably when you get back on the East Coast, you get an ice patch on a hill.
Mm-hmm.
And once you start spinning, on the hill, you realize, oh man, like you're just in a free. You don't know which way the car's going to slide. Is it going to go sideways?
Right.
Is it going to spin real quick? Is it going to catch some dry pavement or whatever? And you're just at the mercy. That happened to me a couple times. I was like 16, 17 years old because everything in West Virginia is a hill.
Right.
So, you start going up these hills and they didn't even put salt on the roads. They put cinders on the roads. You're spinning and you're spinning. Next thing you know, you're just drifting back and you're like, please don't hit a parked car on the side.
There's nothing you can do.
Please don't hit another car coming down. Yeah, because other people are trying to behind you. You know what I mean? Like, oh, God. And a couple of times, it's just like magically my car turned just at the right second. You know what I mean? And then stopped and just my heart's just going nuts. It's not like you're going that fast.
Right, it's all slow motion.
It's terrifying.
It's just the point. I remember the first ice storm that I experienced. I had a dog, right? And I mean, it was slick everywhere. Just the town was covered in ice. So most people aren't driving. Where my dog normally pooped was on the edge of this hill. I was with this big ass shepherd, and he starts doing his thing. And he starts slowly doing he just slid all the way down the hill, all right? Doing a 360. I've never seen so much panic in a dog's face. Like, nothing's happening. Right. It's like, dude, you're fine. But he just slowly started spinning. There's nothing I could do because, again, it's all ice. So I can't really move. And I watched him as he's, again, just doing 360s all the way down the hill. But every time he spun back in my direction, his eyes were so wide, and he was still pooping the whole time.
Well, yeah, because
he went down. It was like a 360 of turds and all this. And it took like 20 minutes to get him back up the hill.
The other one I always like, too, is in the summertime. Not that we've seen it here, but sometimes it rains.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But when it's been dry or whatever, and on asphalt, there's just that layer. And same thing. Like, I remember taking a corner with somebody, and we weren't even going that fast. Before we knew it, we're just sliding out
to
the
bad
feeling.
Especially when it's been dry for a while, and then all the oil that it's been, it gets on the roadway, and immediately when it starts raining, that's the most dangerous time.
Yeah.
As soon as it gets wet. What's the craziest thing that happened involving your vehicle? 206-421-ROCK.
Hello, Wes. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola. All right, so for years and years, ever since I've been driving, I've always had used cars, like a 75 Cutlass, a 91 Tornado, an 01 4Runner up until like 5 years ago. So I was on deployment, and I was like, look, you're in your 30s, let's buy ourselves a new vehicle. And I always loved Ford Raptors. So when I got home, I saved my money, went to the dealership. My credit is good, and bought a brand new Ford Raptor, $70,000 truck.
Damn.
And yeah. Well, I mean, I got a bad back, and what really appealed to me was not besides the power and it can go anywhere, is that the air ride is just like, it's smooth as hell. So, my son borrowed my wife's car. My wife was going to a going away party for her girlfriend. And so she asked me on a Thursday night, can I borrow the truck? And I said, yeah, and I don't know, I guess I jinxed it. You can put that one on me. I said, yeah, just don't wreck it. And she's like, haha, I won't. And I was like, okay, love you, bye. And I'm playing on my phone after work because I'm just like trying to decompress. And I get a phone call from her, and she's like, Wes, oh my God, Wes. And then it cuts off. And I was like, wait, what? I was like, are you? And I took the phone to my ear. The game I was playing made it sound like she was laughing. And so I'm like, dude, don't be joking about you got into a car wreck.
Either that or you're having sex with another guy named Wes.
Yeah. Right. And I'm like, there's not that many of us. Like, where'd you meet him? But so I call her back, and it keeps cutting off. When my truck was calling 911, so it kept cutting her phone off because it was paired to her phone.
Huh. So
I hit like the location, like where is she? And she was right outside of the neighborhood on a really busy street. Yeah.
How bad was your truck?
So you probably know what a Ford Raptor looks like. So the whole front end on the passenger side was gone.
That's a big truck.
Yeah, and in the road. And so I grabbed my daughter. I was like, we got to go find your mom. And, like, so we run up there because, you know, I have location service on where my truck is at all times. I get up there, you know, I see the carnage that has ensued, and I run up to the truck and I throw open the driver's side door because, like, I'm just, like, hyper-focused. Everything around me, like, everything kind of just, like, goes into I'm blacking out everything on the sides, and I run up to the truck. She's not in there. I inhale the airbag fumes, immediately start puking everywhere.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Huh.
It's some toxic stuff to the point where when I found her, she was on the side of the road. She had gotten pulled out of the truck by another nurse. She's on the side of the road. She's got a giant chemical burn on her side from the airbags, and it's bleeding because it's just raw skin. And, yeah, it was a tense couple of days after that.
Well, I bet it was. Well, you know what? As much as an airbag can save your life, it sounds like it also beats the living hell out of you.
Well, it does.
Or tries to kill you.
Oh, yeah, for sure. But, I mean, bright side of the story was because I have such good insurance, they did a new car replacement, and they overvalued my truck and then added 20%. So I ended up walking away with like a $40,000 check after they paid off my initial loan. And then now I'm in the new truck, which is the exact same. But this time we didn't name the truck after my deceased mother because I think that was maybe bad karma too.
Do you name your cars? I know a lot of people who do that. I find it's just not part of something that I've ever done before, but I do know a lot of people who names cars.
And my mother names her cars, and then my mother talks about that. You think she's talking about a person, right? So she'll be like, oh, good Lord, Helga. And I'm like, well, I know you're mad. I know you're mad at this woman, Helga. She's like, what woman? No, my car. I'm like, Jesus Christ. Old Helga, she broke down. And I'm like, I don't know who you're talking about.
Do you know anybody who does that?
I do, but to me, if you're going to name a car, it's got to be something specific. Like, I don't know, either it's an old clunker or it's like it's so big that you call it something.
Right. I feel like, if you have a really big car, it gets a name.
But I mean, I'm also
the boat or whatever.
Well,
we have the
boats
Beast.
Have to have names, right? But I was the same way with like some people used to always name like their pipes and bongs and this and that. I don't know. I smoke weed out. I drive it around. It's a car.
I named our house plants, the ones that are inside, right? Because I realized you want the kids to take some responsibility to water the plants. But here's the thing. So I told my wife, I said, look, if we give these things names, the kids will start to take care. Then honest to God, right? If you call Larry, because all of a sudden when you talk about Larry matters to them, a house plant does not matter to them. So my son was telling me yesterday about Fernando. That's one of the house plants. I can't remember which one it is out of like the four. I think I know, but he's like, I watered Fernando today. I'm like, excellent. And that's the whole thing. Right. So if you want your kids to take care of certain things, I'm telling you, give it a goddamn name.
Yeah, like my buddy back in the day had a complete hoopty that was just massive. So we called that the Beast.
Yeah, we have the Beast now. And Mike, you have what? Marshmallow?
Yeah.
Is it the Marshmallow or Marshmallow?
Honestly, it depends. Usually I call it the Marshmallow if it's the third party, but if I'm talking to it, then its name is Marshmallow.
What was your Camaro?
That was the Beast.
The Beast.
The Beast.
All right.
Yeah.
What do you name your motorcycle? The parked thing?
Yeah, pretty much. Dust covered.
Call him Dusty.
In the way.
What's the craziest thing that happened involving your vehicle? 206-421-ROCK.
I don't name stuff, but I talk to everything.
I do.
Yeah, I'm right there with you on that.
Even when I'm cooking. Get in there, shrimp.
Like we don't have a choice.
I know.
Hello, Terrell. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, bitches.
Hola.
What up, brother?
How are you, Terrell?
All right, so check it out. So I used to work for this water restoration company, and I drew the short stick this day, and I had to go basically use my pump truck to go suck up human feces water.
Okay.
It wasn't the highlight of my job, but I didn't have to get on I-5 every day. But this is the worst. It was a lot. More than my pump truck could handle, and this was the worst of the worst waters. I couldn't just pull over on the side of the road and dump it anywhere, so I had to take it back to a specific place. Yeah, there was poop water everywhere, all on the back of the truck.
I try to clean it for days. I use bleach water. Like we have not chemicals. We don't use chemicals. We use products. I use all the products we had. I could not get this smell out of the van.
What was? Does it just smell like 10,000 people pooped in your bathroom?
It smelled like a Seattle alley on a hot summer day times 10.
Okay. Now let me ask you: was this someone's septic tank that broke, or like what was the situation where you had all this cleanup to do?
It was an apartment, and the pipe all the way at the bottom broke. And these people don't give a damn because it's an apartment. It took forever for them to be like, okay, yeah, there's a weird. They said a weird smell. Before I even got into the basement, I knew exactly what was going on. The main pipe to the thing broke, so it was just all of these families were just dumping poop water into the basement. For God knows how long.
I mean, could you have passed out down there? If, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it seems
just
to be like
fumes alone.
Luckily, at this point in time, I didn't have to get in there. I had somebody else do.
You had what on?
Yeah, that was going to happen.
Mm-hmm. And
jump by the electronic thing.
I would think you need a respirator if you can do that job, man.
Why were they dumping it in the basement?
They didn't know.
Those are the outtake
right. So every time they flushed the toilet, it just went into the basement.
And how many units they had was all just going to the same spot. So if you have a 6-unit apartment building, then everybody's...
and you would never think about it.
Oh. Well, and like I said, they don't own it, so they didn't know what's going on. Nobody goes down to the basement, so they didn't know. They just started smelling something. The next thing you know, they got 3 feet of crap. What's the craziest thing that happened involving your vehicle? 206-421...
Geico asks, how would you love a chance to save some money on insurance? Of course you would. And when it comes to great rates on insurance, Geico can help. Like with insurance for your car, truck, motorcycle, boat, and RV. Even help with homeowners or renters coverage. Plus, add an easy-to-use mobile app, available 24-hour roadside assistance, and more, and Geico is an easy choice. Switch today and see all the ways you could save. It's easy. Simply go to geico.com or contact your local agent today.
Start summer up by mixing things up with top paint and stain brands at Lowe's. Shop HGTV Home by Sherwin-Williams, Valspar, Cabot to find the perfect pop of color or classic shade you've been looking for. And don't forget to prep your deck for the season with reliable wood stain and sealer. Now's the perfect time to complete your paint or stain project. Lowe's, all things summer, all at the right price.